Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's movie news segment, where I cover all the latest, well, maybe not all, some of the latest in the world of movies and TV and books and whatever else I feel like it, really. And I give you my thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and get started with the weekend box office. So yeah, coming in at number 1, we had Deadpool with 55 million. Second week in a row at number 1. Kung Fu Panda 3 came in at number 2 with 12.5 million. I did not see that happening at all. Race was my second choice, and we'll get to that in a minute. Risen came in at number 3 with 11.8 million. And The Witch came in at number 4 with 8.7 million. I did get that one right. And How to Be Single stayed in the top 5 at 8.2 million. And then finally, in 6th place, was Race with 7.2 million. So, my thoughts on this. Well, first, I got 2 out of 5. So I'm doing a little better, right? Just a little bit. I'm getting there. And I knew that Risen and Kung Fu Panda 3 would be in the top 5. I just got the order wrong. The interesting thing here, and you guys obviously wouldn't know this, but originally, when I had pinned this out last week, I put How to Be Single at number 5. And that's because I completely forgot that the Risen movie was coming out. And I didn't, I figured it out last minute. I was like, oh, crap, I got to change this. Well, I don't think it's going to do very good because I've seen really nothing for it. And then as soon as I got done with the video, I started to see a lot of commercials for it. So, yeah, that kind of happened. But hey, 2 out of 5, I'm getting there. Woo! With that being said, we have 3 movies coming out this week. Eddie the Eagle, 999, and Gods of Egypt. Now, okay, so I've done so well so far predicting, but I'm going to say that number 1 is going to be Deadpool. I know it's in its 3rd week, but I think it'll maintain being the best. I know there's also some movies that are coming out that look like they could get some views to them, but I do think Deadpool is going to remain number 1. So for number 2, I'm going to put 999 in. It looks interesting enough. It's got quite a big cast to it. John Hillcoat has done some very good films in the past, like Lawless. So yeah, I think 999 might be number 2. For number 3, I'm going to put Eddie the Eagle. I'm not really looking forward to it that much. It just doesn't appeal to me, but you've got some people out there that I'm sure will flock to this movie, and having Hugh Jackman in it and Taron Egerton that should be a driving force for some people at least. So I'll put that at number 3. And number 4, I'm going to put Kung Fu Panda 3. I think it's going to stay in the top 5. It's been doing pretty well. And again, it's got nothing really to compete against it. So yeah, I'm going to put it at number 4. Number 5. Number 5 is a little difficult. On the one hand, Gods of Egypt. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to put Gods of Egypt at number 5. I don't think it's going to be that great of a movie, but I do think people will be interested in seeing it. And there's been a lot of trailers for it, at least at my theater. So I think it'll squeak in there at number 5. Anyway, that's my predictions of it. I am probably far off, like usual. But what are your predictions? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I like to read them. There's a bit of news for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, starting with the fact that the runtime was released and it is at 2 hours and 31 minutes. Now, I think that is a great thing, because this movie not only has the Batman v Superman, the main aspect of it, but it is building up to the Justice League. It is incorporating, these characters. So we need a fleshed out Batman, which I hope we get. We need Wonder Woman to provide, at least some type of presence, so that we feel for her, we understand the character, and thusly we look forward to her in her standalone movie. There's a lot riding on this movie. I don't think that means that if this movie fails, of course, we won't have any of the other stuff play out. But this movie is a bit of a setup to everything that we're going to see. And so at 2 hours and 31, I think that's a perfectly well thought out time. I think that's a good indication that there is a lot in this movie, and that it's not going to be crammed, which a lot of people are probably afraid of. The other thing to note is that filmratings.com has said that the Batman, there is a different cut on it, an R-rated version, if you will, and that there's going to be an Ultimate Edition Blu-ray with this R-rated version for sequences of violence. Now, it's really interesting. I mean, again, the movie in theaters is going to be PG-13. But when you buy it on Blu-ray, there will be an R-rated version. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm very curious as to how different that would look. Zack Snyder is known for doing various versions of his films. He has Watchmen, which has he has a new cut for that. He has Dawn of the Dead had an unrated version as well. He likes to mess with it, and I can see him having it in R rating. And this, again, this comes off like, well, because of Deadpool and everything, this is happening. The reason why it might happen because of Deadpool is simply because Deadpool provided that rated R movies could be good. Not that they decided to alter things and to make it rated R. I think the idea is that it was initially Zack Snyder approached them and the MPAA and gave them the film, and they were like, okay, well, because what you have right now is rated R. If you scale it back on these points, you'll get a lower rating. And that's what he did, so it would appeal to everybody at a PG-13. But what they're saying now is because Deadpool did so well, probably, because of that, it influenced them. And they were like, well, they're going to release an R-rated version, the original version of the film. That doesn't mean this version won't be good, and I'm highly looking forward to it. But I'm very curious as to whether or not, the R-rated version is going to provide even more to the movie and hopefully, kind of expand my thoughts on the film in general. So I thought that was interesting. Also, Justice League Part 1 is starting production on April 11th. At least that's what they're saying. They could be changing it. Zack Snyder actually tweeted out a photo with him and Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman. And you see a bunch of costumes and everything behind him. So there's a lot of speculation on what those are. And this seems almost like it's as a result of people being a little bit critical of the film already. Not having seen the film, but because, there's all this talk about Warner's not having faith in the film and not thinking the film will be as massive a hit because it just didn't come off as well to them or whatever. I don't read anything into that. What I am excited for is that we are actually going to start the Justice League. And Zack Snyder, there was talk about him, possibly not being the director for it. And it looks like, as of this moment, of course, he's right on board. So, again, a lot of interesting news here. Curious as to that rated R film. I wonder, what do you guys think? Do you want to see a rated R version? Are you just happy with the PG-13 version? Like, are you going to check it out when it comes out? Because I definitely will. Apparently, Selma director Ava DuVernay, probably said that wrong, is set to direct A Wrinkle in Time from Disney. So, yeah, that's... I don't know. That alone is quite interesting to me. You have one of the co-creators from Frozen doing the script, I believe. And if you don't know, aside from Selma, Ava was set to initially direct Black Panther, but she had some, there were some disagreements between her and Marvel, and they just kind of politely separated. And so this is the film that she's choosing to do instead. And this book, it's about a girl whose father goes missing, and so she like steps into other dimensions and encounters creatures and everything along the way. And it's just one of those adventure tales. It's kind of the same. It's the same type of film like Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, which makes sense. But all that being said, I think it's interesting that she's choosing to take this one on. The lead actor in the book is a female, so it'd be great to have another powerful female character. Always nice to see that, and I think there's a lot that they can do, a lot Disney can do, certainly with the visuals of it and encountering the new worlds and creatures along the way and everything like that. I don't know. I find it a very very interesting choice for her, a very good choice for her. It has me excited that this is what she chose next, because it seems like she had a variety of things that she could have gone with, and she seems like the type of person that only takes up movies that she feels she can do something with it kind of is compelled to do. So I think it's very interesting. If you're a fan of Selma, then be on the lookout for this. And even if not, if you like Lion and Witch in the Wardrobe, if you like that kind of fantasy genre thing that Disney has done before, then obviously look out for this movie as well. I read the book. It was a long time ago, but I did enjoy it, and I am looking forward to this. I'm very curious on it. According to Deadline, Legendary Pictures has set Daredevil showrunner Stephen S. DeKnight to take over at the helm of Pacific Rim 2. And this is going to be his kind of feature film debut. Now, Pacific Rim 2 has had a lot of ups and downs. Some people were questioning whether it was going to happen or at all, because Universal had removed the film from its 2017 release slate. Guillermo del Toro wasn't being brought out as much. Again, the movie kind of met with a lot of buzz and everything, at least overseas. It didn't do as well here, so in the U.S. So for that reason, it was hard to tell whether we were going to get a second one. But it looks like that this is going to happen. So DeKnight is on to direct the sequel, and the script is from Doctor Strange scribe John Spates. Don't know. Anyway, don't know too much about the plot or anything else like that, but I don't know. It's interesting. I personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I liked the fighting of it, but the story aspect of it was really lacking. However, that being said, you get new people on board. Who knows how that's going to play out? That could play out much better. And if Daredevil is any indication at all of the potential of the sequel film, then that gets me a little pumped. I want to see that. I want to see a good film, a good action film, but at the same time, I want to see a good story that I can invest in. All right, you guys have been wanting it. You've been craving it. You've been having that huge desire since the release of the Lego movie to see what movies are following in its footsteps, what movies are branching out and becoming part of this expanded movie universe of Lego, which tends to happen for a lot of different, for a lot of different movies nowadays. They all have to have their own shared universe. But in any case, for those of you that are just craving more Lego in your life, Lego Batman is set to come out on February 10th of 2017. It is supposed to answer the question of whether or not Batman can ever be happy. And it's supposed to be kind of like the Lego movie. It's supposed to have a very similar tone, similar feel to it. Also, there is a Ninjago movie coming out on September 22nd of 2017, following the Lego Batman. And for those of you that don't know what Ninjago is, neither do I. However, there apparently is a show featured around them, so I recommend going and checking that out if you are interested in that kind of thing. Or if not, and you just want to walk into the movie blind, I'm sure you can pick it up from what they're showing. And lastly, the second Lego movie is officially coming out May 18th of 2018. So those of you that loved the first one and thought that everything was awesome, you're in luck. There is going to be an actual direct sequel, and it is coming out in 2018. So look forward to that. For those of you that love manga and anime and didn't know that there's an American movie adaptation of the series Death Note, guess what? There is. Also, apparently, according to the producers of the film, it will be rated R. So that's interesting. Speaking with Collider at DICE 2016 last weekend, the Death Note producer was adamant that the film will be getting an R rating, saying it's definitely for adults. It is zero chance it will be below an R rating. Death Note will be one of the first manga adaptations that feels very grounded but still has fantastical elements. Not many details have been released about this movie as it's kind of progressed over the years, but what we do know is that it will be directed by Adam Wingard, who also directed The Guest and You're Next, and it's set to star Nat Wolff. So, that's really all we got. The fact that it's an R rating, though, is at least a positive in my eyes, because there's a lot that happens, a lot of death, obviously, that happens in this manga. So it kind of had to. I won't say it had to be rated R, but I'm very glad it's rated R. And if you are a fan of Your Next and The Guest, and that's the kind of horror movies that you like, the fact that you have Adam Wingard coming on board is definitely a good thing. In the world of Captain America Civil War, a new image was released by Empire magazine showing Crossbones, Frank Grillo as Crossbones, one of the villains that is actually in the movie. Yes, it's not just heroes versus heroes. And for those of you that know about the comics, you knew that he was coming from Winter Soldier. You knew that was setting him up, even though the backstory is very different. But he has a very pivotal role in the Civil War storyline. I won't give away what, in case you don't know, but he has a very important role, and he's very crucial to a character and a series of characters in that movie. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on May 6th, to see how well they stick to that, and whether or not he's going to be the only villain. As far as his image goes, I think he looks pretty cool. He doesn't wow me or anything. He kind of looks like, I don't know, he kind of looks like somebody in a paintball tournament. That probably comes out as a much bigger disc than it's supposed to be. But I don't think it looks bad. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you guys think about that. In the world of TV news, Daredevil released its second trailer, the follow-up to the part 2 to the first trailer that we got. And in this one, you find Elektra. She takes center stage a lot more. You see Punisher briefly, but it's all about Elektra and Daredevil and their relationship, and apparently the Hand is becoming involved. If you don't know, the Hand is an ancient order of ninja from the Marvel comic universe. It's interesting that they're in this, given that they the rights to them probably were with X-Men, but apparently something got worked out because they're in it. And you have Elodie Young as Elektra, and I think the chemistry between them works already from the brief bits I get. I've seen her outfit here. I mean, it's just a basic outfit. It doesn't really have that much to it, but Elektra's never really had that much to her outfit anyway, so I think it's perfectly fine. I like the red. You know, it doesn't overwhelm her character. There's not too much red, but I do like it. And I don't know, this is looking to be quite the season. I'm very interested. I'm more interested in the Punisher aspect of it, but I'm also interested in the Elektra aspect. And this whole trailer builds upon the themes of heroism and duty, and you have the gang war thing, like the outcome from that. And of course, from the first trailer, we got Daredevil as far as what he represents and what he brought. And so I don't know, I'm really looking forward to this season. I think it's going to be good. Also, not that many, I don't know how many y'all really know about this or not, but back when they decided to do a deal for Netflix, one of the characters that they were going to Marvel was going to have, was Iron Fist. And that's really all we knew about it. We didn't know that much about it from there. But what we do know now is that Netflix has cast Game of Thrones Finn Jones as Iron Fist, as the lead character. So, that's, and this was reported, it was reported by another source, but it has been confirmed by Variety. So you see Finn Jones down here. It's fine. He did a pretty good job as Loras Tyrell on Game of Thrones. It'll be interesting to see what his character has for it, what his character is going to bring. There's not really too much to know. There's a Luke Cage season 1 coming out later this year, but that's really about it. It's just whether or not, like, if you've seen him in Game of Thrones, and you can tell every character in Game of Thrones, every actor in Game of Thrones, every actress has done a really good job. The acting has been top notch in that series, at least for me. So the fact that they're actually moving, that they have something that they're moving forward with Iron Fist, that we get anything at this point revolving around Iron Fist, is cool, because it kind of faded away for a while. I wasn't even sure that they were going to keep doing the show, because there was just no mention of it. So this at least confirms that they are progressing with it, that there is more, and hopefully we'll find out more in the future. So the official US teaser trailer was for Pete's Dragon remake was released by Disney. I watched it. I was underwhelmed. It just didn't do anything for me. It really didn't. That being said, you've got Bryce Dallas Howard, you've got Oaks Fegley, you've got Wes Bentley, Carl Urban, other people, Robert Redford. You've got quite the cast in this movie. And I vaguely remember the first film. Apparently it didn't do that well. It had somewhat of a similar thing going for it. The difference is it had reality. For the dragon, it was an animated dragon, just a cartoon dragon. And this one, the dragon, from what I can tell, looks very different, and it's CG. So, there is that. But that being said, it's basic principle is the same. And I don't remember whether I liked the movie or not, honestly. It's been way too long. This teaser just didn't do anything for me. It didn't really get me any more or less excited to see this movie. I'm curious about this movie, as I am for most of Disney projects that come out. And coming in to theaters on August 12th of this year, I'm sure we'll see soon enough more trailers and stuff to come. Again, it's a teaser, so there's not much you're gonna get out of the movie. You got the kind of basic setup of the movie. It seems like it could be good. Just didn't release anything that captivated my attention. But that's just me. All right, so for the movie spotlight this week, we have The Good Dinosaur, the latest film by Pixar, was released. And I have seen the movie. I have reviewed the movie. I will put that review up on Monday. So for those of you interested in seeing that, go ahead and check it out. And the other movie is Spotlight. Yes, Spotlight is coming out and is brought into the spotlight. Not only do you have the awards coming up on Sunday, which it's been nominated for, but you have had a lot of people rave about this movie. I'm not one of them. Not because I didn't like it, but because I haven't seen it. So I still got to see it, and I will work on that. But having Mark Ruffalo and Michael Keaton in it, that's impressive. Rachel McAdams, Liev Schreiber, and it's a very interesting story for sure. So it's definitely one I want to check out. I recommend you check it out if you haven't, and go ahead and let me know in the comments what you thought about this and what you thought about The Good Dinosaur, because I'm very interested in hearing that. But that being said, that will wrap up this edition of Movie News. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I know there's sure to be other news that I have missed. If there is something that I've missed and you want to hear my thoughts about it, go ahead and comment below. And hopefully you enjoyed this. Click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. I do appreciate it. And lastly, for those of you that have been sticking with me, that have constantly watched and gave your thoughts on the movies and on my views of it in general, those of you that have just shared your opinion, or even if you haven't, those of you that have stuck around and watched my videos, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I put a lot of effort into these. I know it doesn't look like it because it's like, it's just still images, but I do put a lot of effort into it, and I absolutely appreciate you guys for sticking with me and hopefully enjoying these. So anyway, that'll wrap this up, and until next time, peace.